You're going to fail at least one of these tests. Most Christians fail all four. And here's the brutal truth nobody's telling you. God isn't grading on a curve. He's not impressed by your church attendance, your Bible knowledge, or how many worship songs you know by heart. Right now, at this very moment, you're in the middle of at least one test you don't even realize you're taking. If you fail, you won't lose your salvation, but you'll waste years of your life spiritually dead while still breathing. I'm about to show you the 4 tests God gives every believer before they die. Tests that Abraham faced, David faced, Peter faced. Tests that separated the faithful from the fake. And I need you to ask yourself one question as we go through these. Which one am I failing right now? Test number 1, the waiting test. God will make you wait for something you desperately want, and He'll stay silent while you're waiting. This is the test that breaks most Christians. You pray, nothing happens. You fast, still nothing. You worship, you serve, you give, and God feels a million miles away. The thing you're begging Him for, it's not coming, not yet. And here's what separates those who pass from those who fail. What you do in the silence reveals who you really worship. Abraham waited 25 years for Isaac. 25 years of God's promise sitting in front of him unfulfilled. Think about that. 2.5 decades of wondering if you heard God wrong. Most of us can't wait 25 days without having a spiritual breakdown. Here's the harsh truth. You don't really trust God if you only trust Him when you can see the results. James 1 verses 2-4 says, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance." The waiting isn't punishment, it's preparation. But here's where you're probably failing right now. While you're waiting, you're negotiating. You're making backup plans. You're hedging your bets. You're 1 foot in faith, 1 foot in your own control. That's not trust. That's terror dressed up in Christian language. The waiting test asks, will you worship me when I give you nothing but silence? If your answer is anything other than yes, you're failing. Test number 2, the lost test. God will take something away from you that you thought you couldn't live without. This is the test that reveals your idols. Maybe it's a relationship, a job, your health, your reputation, your comfort, your plans. And when He takes it, you'll feel like you're dying. Here's the truth nobody wants to hear. Whatever you can't imagine losing is probably the thing standing between you and God. Job lost everything. His children, his wealth, his health, everything except his nagging wife telling him to curse God and die. And what did Job say? The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Job 1 verse 21. That's not toxic positivity. That's a man who understood a fundamental truth. Nothing you have belongs to you. It all belongs to God. You're just the steward. But you've built your entire identity around things God never promised you'd keep forever. Your dream career? Not guaranteed. Your perfect relationship? Not promised. Your comfortable life? Never part of the deal. Jesus said it clearly in Luke 14 verse 33. Those of you who do not give up everything you have cannot be my disciples. Everything, not most things, not the easy things. Everything. Here's the shocking reality. God will sometimes destroy your good to give you His best. But if you're clinging to good with white knuckles, you'll never have open hands to receive best. The lost test asks, do you love my gifts more than you love me? Most Christians fail this test because they never see it coming. They think their faith is strong until God touches the one thing they've secretly made into a god. So let me ask you something. What's the one thing in your life right now that if God asked you to give it up tomorrow, you'd honestly struggle to say yes? I want you to think about that. Really think about it. Because whatever just came to your mind, that's probably your answer. And naming it out loud is the first step to actually surrendering it. Drop it in the comments if you're brave enough. Test number 3, the obedience test. God will ask you to do something that makes absolutely no sense, and He'll offer 0 explanation. This is where your theology meets reality. Noah built an ark when it had never rained. Abraham raised a knife over his own son. Moses went back to Egypt where he was wanted for murder. Jonah preached to his enemies. None of it made sense. All of it required obedience. And here's what you need to understand. God doesn't owe you an explanation for what he asks you to do. You want to know the why before you do the what. You want a roadmap, a timeline, a guarantee of success before you take one step of faith. That's not faith. That's a business transaction.